You'll have to give it a few seconds to get started. I'm going to be sharing this. So give us a moment, please. While I do this, I will hum elevator music for you. Bum 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 dun 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 dun. All right, almost done. Navy, let me give you permission to speak real quick. And I'll invite you to speaketh. Julie, I'll invite you to speaketh. Just do me a favor, please. And if you're not speaking, mute for me. When you're not, I'm not going to be strict here on Twitter, of course. It's just something I ask. Because you know this recording is going, we can hear you. Because you guys know this recording is probably going to get blasted everywhere. Okay, nonsense
Hit me,
goes.
baby, one more time. Sorry, I had to. Okay.
All right, Twitter space here. Then we be on Kick. Then we will be on Rock-a-Lots after. And there we go. So let me put that post out. Bam. All right. Okay. So let's get this started. Let's see. I took a 2-day break, right? I usually take 2 days off a week, and I try not to put them right next to each other, but sometimes I do. Now, that 2-day break, I believe, was before yesterday. So the point is, right before the 2-day break, I guess Nonsense had attacked me, or maybe it was 2 days. Yeah, it might have been 2 days before the 2-day break. It was before it. And when she had attacked me, come at me, right? Like, just went off on me. I didn't find out about it till probably like the next day, 3/4 into the day. And then Navy kind of, apologized to me. And he's like, yeah, we didn't tell you for a reason. I wanted to respond. I wanted to respond in a video before you did. And I'm almost done with the video. And of course, I had to fight the urge to jump over to Twitter space or Kick or whatever. But I managed. I managed by keeping myself busy. Yeah, if you watched our video game time on kick.com last night, you probably heard a little bit of discussion about everything. So let me get started with, this is probably the most childish, most disgusting behavior, or whatever, however you'd say, from a person that billed themselves as, strangely, I have to stop myself because I wanted to say a content creator, but they build themselves as better than a content creator, and they build themselves as no drama, right? They'll talk everything out. Facts, not fuckery. Just, as many things you can about facts. So let me just say, in my first observation of her attacking me, there were no facts. There was no sources. There was nothing. And now I've been getting a couple pieces that kind of make sense to why this happened. We could probably tell you why, but we'll wait to do that. So we all can kind of talk. Because what I want to do is kind of go through every stage of this, all right? So let's do that. But before I do anything, Navy just did wasn't it like 2 effing hours? And I just want to say something. He worked his fucking ass off without even in the beginning me knowing he was doing it. And then after I knew, right? He worked his ass off and has been literally doing nothing but working, taking care of his life, and making the video, okay? Him and a video editor. And I am so disgusted that instead of us being able to talk like people, if we have an issue, Instead, it's turned into some kind of Molly Go Lightly kid game. I've made sure that Nonsense and every one of you in the community knows I will open my door to you. I won't do what other content creators will do. When you have a problem with me, I will give you the option of coming on my own show and handling the issue. Because people are going to say, of course, that the reason that a content creator does the fucky things he does is because the majority of their audience aren't going to see stuff that's outside of their channel. So what I want to do is just curb that bullshit in the beginning. Number one, Nonsense is invited to my channel to sit down and bring each piece of evidence that she has. I'm not demanding it be right now, because I can't stream right now anyway. I mean, we have other stuff planned, but I'm talking here in the next day or two. And hell, she's more than welcome to jump and talk tonight. But I want us to prepare for her to come on my show and bring anything she has. Because for some reason, there's this weird air that because she has decided to not come and talk to me, because she has decided to axe me out with an axe, chop, chop, right? I know I just woke up from a nap and I don't have any caffeine. Hey guys, speaking of which, I'm not ashamed to share my pay link. PayPal.me/Unirock, money sign Unirock on Cash App. And you know why I'm not ashamed? Because there is literally nothing, there is no argument. There is nothing wrong with people being given the option. What is wrong is when people lie. What is wrong is when people play these kind of drama games while dangling that out. What is wrong is when people do dirty shit while monetizing. Because if you want to make an argument that, number one, we should be able to give our opinion, it's our right on things. We should be able to do tutorial videos. We should be able to play video games. We should be able to do what we want on the platform. Before you're able to say that we can't monetize ourselves reporting on any story in this realm, there has to be an argument. There has to be a reason, okay? But I have heard none. I heard none at the first attack. I figured Nonsense being Nonsense would come in and actually lay it down. Drop like 15 minutes or 30 minutes, however much she needs. But of course, the major problems first. And just give them up. Give them to us. When you come at me, you can't make claims. You can't just say, Unirock did this. What you need to do is say, you can say it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you're required to play a clip. In the very least, if you're not going to tell me where and when it happened or how I can find what you're saying that happened, don't be upset when everybody's looking at you like this is some kind of, plot or plan or bullshit. So excuse me for still believing that Nonsense is adult enough, right? And professional enough. Again, only judging her by her own words of what she says she's about. Forgive me for judging her by her own standard to say, where is the video that shows at least some modicum of what I did so that I can go in and fucking respond, right? Okay, now number two, did I say how good of a job Navy did? Right? He
Thank you.
Hours
yes,
and hours of nonstop work. That's all he's been doing. No bullshit. He was doing it in the fucking Jellybot room. Jellybot's our second discussion room in Discord. Openly, so that people could hear what they were doing and listen if they wanted. And I heard a little bit of it. And he was recording. He was working his ass off. They were scripting. They were grabbing clips. They were organizing it. Right? I probably already said this, but again, I just got up. For her to invalidate Navy as a fucking henchman when her fucking argument the whole time is that somehow that's what I fucking do. Makes me think that this is some kind of fucking weird ass attack. Okay? But I will hold my... Hold on, I don't know if you can hear... Can you still hear me, Navy? Check, check. And it's going to kick me off. Check, check, check. Check, 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 check.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, we're back. Okay, sorry. I don't know if it cut out on your guys' side, but it cut out on mine. I had to reopen it. Okay. All I was doing was praising how much work Navy did. I was stating how messed up it is, how incredible it is. Oh, it did. It kicked Navy. Let me see. Navy, did it let you? Here, let me give you a different request. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. Hold on, Navy. Fuck. There. So it kicked you when it had the glitch. I just gave you permission, bro. You should wait for me to give you permission. Or actually, hold on. There it went. We got you. Test it for me.
And I thought I had a glitch, and I left and came.
It was on my end too. Okay. It was probably the whole thing glitched, so it's okay.
No worries. Oh, I want to give a big shout out to my editor and partner and girlfriend, Green Frogginess, because she spent hours with me working on this video, and it wouldn't have been possible without her.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't know if you were going to name her or like shout her out, so I let you do it. But I mean everything I said about both of you, obviously. Yes, I had nothing to do with you doing that damn video. I was against it. I was mad. Tell me I wasn't mad, man. No, I was like, I want to go handle this now. She is lying in front of my fucking subs, trying to play some kind of fucking power game, or she's working for some fucking troll, or some troll has gotten in her head. Who fucking knows? Right? Those are my first thoughts. But yeah, Navy is not a henchman. He is my co-host. So I assume that maybe Nonsense has never listened to any form of podcasting or talk radio, okay? But the format that I use is very popular for a lot of really big podcasts and talk radio shows. And if in instances where I've been on other shows, I give that respect to the host, okay? So Navy knows that he's always got free reign to say and do whatever he wants, but I'd like to let him speak for a moment because I'm incredibly just like these things are opposite of reality. And if you're going to make the claim, bring a clip, prove it. But go ahead, Navy, if you got anything.
Well, yeah. So I know there's been a lot of like kind of questions and stuff about me making this video. And so first off, I just want to make sure that everybody who's listening understands this, because I know when Nonsense I know in her live, there was a bunch of people talking about how I was doing this because Uni wanted me to, or I was, being told to do
They're
this.
Literally lying.
Yeah.
I can't believe that community would act like that.
That's 100% a lie. I did this video on my own. When I found out, when it got brought to me what Nonsense was saying and all this kind of stuff, and there was an aspect, and one of the reasons I did this is because they're part of the live chat in her, when she was doing her live, where it's talking about how Uni mistreats me and he treats me like shit and stuff, all like that, like I'm not a 41-year-old man who can make his own fucking decisions about who he spends time with, right? And all this kind of fun stuff on YouTube.
Navy, real quick, I know me interrupting you is going to be used as me being a hateful monster, sure, but these people that are doing this, I have never seen them, okay? It's really fucking weird because it's almost like it's a bunch of people on sock accounts starting shit like we've seen in the past. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's the dealio. Do we believe, and let's do this, Navy and Julie, because Julie, I apologize. Let's let Julie go before I do this. Go ahead, Julie. You were saying some really good shit in Discord right before we came here. How do you feel? What are you thinking?
Well, okay, so first of all, I want to know, why did she turn on you? And second of all, I have a premonition, and I have had premonition dreams, I come from a family that have premonition dreams, so I am partly psychic, but I have a
I believe you.
premonition. I have a premonition, her and AKC, and definitely are going to make a truce within the space of 2 months at the very most.
So you think that this is coming from some trolls, some liars, some people who basically, and this is the damn truth. This is just like, you can even go scroll their fucking channel if you want to say it's not true. But from a group of people that literally follow us around, and anytime we're on anything, they jump in and lie. They say the opposite. They never show evidence. They get debunked. They just ignore it, right? They've been ousted from the
Yeah.
communities. Every community they go into, they get ousted from because they realize this person led us to make fools of ourselves and fed us fake ass shit and lied to us. And they have been ousted from every community before. And I do believe you on that. But the
So,
reason I believe you is because I've had people come to me and tell me this. And I'm like, come on, bro. Nonsense is about facts. It's her literal motto. It doesn't matter if someone, and if you can please mute when you're not speaking, I apologize.
oh
I'll
sorry,
shut up.
but Unique,
No,
can
it's
I
okay. Yeah,
just
go ahead. Go ahead,
quickly
Julie. Go
ask
ahead.
what actually started this? Like, what was the first thing she said about you that? Why did she turn on you? Like, I think that's what a lot
Yeah.
of people want to know. We
I'd
just
like
don't
to know that too,
understand.
Julie. That's
Like,
why we
what was
came
it she
here.
said? Like, to start it all off.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons why we came from Discord to here was right. We were talking about doing it right before you came in. And when you asked that question, we didn't answer you because I said, I know, and this is my quote, 3,000 people are thinking the same thing, including myself. But really, here's the thing. Nonsense seems, for whatever reason, instead of like in the past where she just like comes to us, by the way, she's done this many times. Don't let her bullshit you. This is another thing that really fucking bothers me about this. Why in the world can't we be honest? If you have to have an issue, why not be honest with the issue? I was nice as could be when Heels attacked me, right? And I'm like, you know what? I'm not from the community. Maybe this is just some misunderstanding. And if I'm, understanding and nice and hear the criticism, maybe they'll say, oh, okay, the dude's not just going to shut us up or something. But I don't know, Julie. All I know is what she said, right? She had like a small issue with us before this. I'm sure Navy can fill me in on that in just a second. Now, I tried to hear out what the issue was, be open to it. It pretty much just settled down. I think it was because she took a break. If I could be wrong, it could have happened after the break. Like I said, I haven't watched her channel since she took the break. But Navy, what was it? What was the very first thing that happened? I don't even know. Was it a month ago or something, or right before the break, or what?
So one of the biggest problems that she was
The
having,
first one. The
there's
first one.
several.
The first one, though.
CPS
Well, how did
call.
it start? And then we'll get into that.
The CPS call, I think, was one of the first ones that she had a real issue.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you for reminding me about that. Now, if I recall, she was mad that I brought it up. Right?
It was partly that, and it was also she was getting mad because she claims that you monetized it, her CPS call.
I didn't play any of her content that time, I don't believe. Now I need to check myself, which means I need to go look at what I did then. I'm going off memory, okay? But number one, Nonsense has some kind of control issue. She's going to have to get used to this, okay? Like, seriously. Like, how is it that we're able to document, discuss, and go over every fucking thing that happens on the other side? But when someone from this side makes a video, right? They go out, instead of keeping it behind the scenes, they make a fucking video. They put it out, right? They talk about it. Why in the fuck? Now, what does she mean by monetized? I did not monetize her CPS call. I did nothing but report what happened, and then I showed that Molly had made calls to CPS in the past, and that people that Molly frequented with over the last like X amount of days, again, you can check my video, but they also made CPS calls in the past, like CPS swatting is what it kind of relates to. But it's not monetizing to talk about it on a show that's fucking monetized.
That's the problem, right? And that's one of the things in my video I point out multiple times is that Nonsense does not understand how YouTube works, right?
Now hold on, maybe, because I got to get this out. But you're right, but isn't she monetized? She is. Now, if it's not right to talk about somebody being attacked by another YouTuber on their channel when it's monetized, why in the world does she talk about other YouTubers while she's monetized? Like, is there some limit? I mean, we can talk about murders when we're monetized as long as we do it the proper, honest way. But now, these types of issues, we could talk about what these tragedy pimps are doing, which is the most extreme things you can do in humanity. If you can't mute for me when you're not talking, I'm sorry. Go ahead, though, before you mute out or whatever.
No,
Jump in.
It's just this aspect that, right fast, is that, like I said, she just doesn't understand that you are a content creator on YouTube who's looking to make money and also share the truth with people.
But sorry to interrupt, but wasn't the full point of you pointing that out was to get people to like stand up for her, and you were trying to like literally report Molly, well, not mass report, but
report, discuss.
The harassment against Nonsense. Like, you played that to defend her, and you were like, we're going to help you, Nonsense, and stop this. So
absolutely.
I don't understand the issue there. You
Now,
trying to
let me add on that. Let me add on to that, because also I was going by Nonsense's own ideation. She said that when people do this kind of stuff, you have to blast it with the sunlight. You have to put it out. You can't let them get away with it. Let's use the Betty voicemail as another issue here. Like, literally, she said, you got to get it out there. People need to know it happened so that they don't get away with it. You know? And a part of me reporting on it was to let everybody know for fucking 7 or 8 months that what you do when this happens to you is get it together in a very short and concise, to the point way, and tag team YouTube on Twitter. Now, I hate to say it, but that is what happened. That is what solved all of the doxings, all of the attacks, all of the CPS calls that Molly Golightly did on people, which were thousands. And it was solved because people started taking the appropriate measure to report those things, okay? So again, not only am I doing it so I can say, hey, these people, if they are banned, even though they may say to themselves, it's not going to affect me, they're lying. If they get banned from YouTube for doing this, it solves the issue. It prevents future people from having the same thing happen. Now, again, that's hypocrisy. Like, if Nonsense would have fucking asked people not to cover it, maybe that would be one thing. Now, from my understanding, she did not. Again, though, we don't ask Molly or Betty. Permission is given when you upload it publicly. That's the basis of fair use. So Nonsense, if I found out if Nonsense called me on the fucking phone and told me about the CPS call and I rushed to YouTube and I put it out, now she's got an argument. But Nonsense putting it out on YouTube, putting it in as part of Molly's story, Molly's tale, Molly's history, that's when she gave everyone permission legally. So I guess her argument is that it's immoral or something to report about the CPS call, right? It's really strange. Look, I'm going to just cut it right here. Every time we're looking at something she's mad about, instead of it being her speaking to something I've done wrong, when I do it, this is literally like her going back and just picking things that she's pissed about or something now, even though the entire time that everything was going on, it was all fine. But when the condition changed that Molly was banned, right? Now it's almost like we got to start a fight to entertain the people or some shit, because this is ridiculous. Navy, go ahead. What in the hell is even going on? Because I've been kept from this a lot so that you could do your video and shit.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So it's kind of
point by point. You got to let me and Julie respond point by point. So what do you, go ahead, start up for us. What do you think? Let's go to the veteran thing.
Okay. She claims vet bashing is not a real thing. It's a social media term that's overused and created by conspiracy theorists.
You've got to be kidding me. You're lying to me right now.
Nope.
That's
You're
like
fucking lying.
Mum bashing doesn't exist, like mother bashing doesn't exist. That makes no sense.
Now listen, regardless of our opinions on vet bashing, that should have come out when the vet bashing happened. This is a real power play. Maybe not that she's stating this opinion, but that she's stating it now. This is some old shit. This is some shit that's been going on for fucking since the beginning. Since 2 months into this mess. We're at least 11 months into this mess now. Okay? I just want to get that out in the open. Any issue she brings up where she doesn't have some kind of excuse, and a good one, for why she kept it quiet, even though she knew my door was open, she knew that I was available, and I'd let her say it in front of my entire fucking audience, okay? That is a power play. Basically, there is a real reason this is happening, right? But these things are peppered on top. But let's go ahead and treat it as an actual criticism. Is she doing a Molly? And what I mean is, I know if I take what I know of Nonsense, she has always said she doesn't care about YouTube. She doesn't give a shit about it, right? It doesn't matter to her. She doesn't give a fuck about this. Doesn't give a fuck about that. Whatever, right? Is she trying to burn this shit down for her or something and just get out of the community and just dip or something? What is she doing, man? This is crazy.
I don't know, honestly.
Okay.
The only thing I can think of is that, so I'll just say it real quick. Molly's gone. The stuff that she moved on to after Molly was Justin. No one gives a fuck because Justin's not even doing anything, so no one cares.
Get used to it. I've been reporting on shit people don't give a fuck about, including this story for months before anyone gave a fuck. That's literally every story that ever picks up, literally sits there for an amount of time without being picked up. And no, I don't get to pick which ones get picked up. I don't get to fucking manipulate it. I don't get to fucking choose and pick and choose. It just happens. So don't be fucking putting it on me. Right?
Yep.
Don't say that I did it on purpose or that I went after this and I did this. I simply reported on the Vaughn story. I did an in-depth report on it. It's still on UniRock 2 for anyone that wants to watch it. I found that there were huge issues from both sides, and one side had to be lying because the two sides did not match reality. And I stated that, and you'd have to watch the video again, but my conclusion, either in the end of that video or over on Rock a Lot when I talked about it, was we're going to have to give it time and see what happens. That's why we wound up here.
Well, and she
this was a natural.
Yeah.
Well, before we move off of that, it was a natural progression. But before, what's up?
This is still about the vet bashing. It's the second part.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I want to make sure we close that. Vet bashing, regardless of what anyone's opinion is, on the platform, it is literally right next to every other class because it is one. The reason it is one is because people will be just as hateful as they are to each other group to vets. And they'll use it, if they're hateful, they'll use it if they are fucked up in the head. I don't know how else to say it, man. They'll use it as a point of attack when the reason it's a protected class is because we become veterans, the majority of us, by being injured, by getting fucked up in the head, and we did it literally for low pay and no promises. It's not like it's something where it's like the most prestigious fucking thing ever, or some shit, or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? So it is a protected class. Anyone that's arguing against it needs to make a video. This is the other thing that bothers me. You got these hot takes, but they never come out in front of your audience, right? You sit there and you can make videos on everything, but for some reason, these things are just these like little minor points that come out when you get in a fight with somebody. Why can't we get a full video presentation from Heels in the Air, someone who was saying this in the comments section over on Nonsense? Or how about Nonsense herself with the literal logic of why there's some issue with me being pissed that people vet bash? But I know what she said. She said that, oh fuck, Navy, I was using vet status or vet bashing as a way to deflect from criticism, correct?
Yeah, to shut down your criticizers. So
okay,
basically, yeah, yep.
That is a lie. That is an absolute bold-faced lie. Every instance, and I'll name them, where I've been vet bashed, I still responded to the criticism. How anyone says this is beyond me. One of the most craziest things that people used to say to me constantly was, stop dunking on Steve McRae, okay? You've dunked on Steve McRae for a long time now. Stop, Uni. You can do other things. And you know what they said, Navy? You are good at this. And when you do other things, it'll be, you know, just as big and bigger. And I said, I know. I'm talking about a small YouTube channel. I know they don't have fucking fame. Same thing with this whole thing that's going on. Nobody fucking knew this was going to blow up. But back to that. Steve McRae vet bashed me the first night that he got mad at me. It was like his second or third tweet to when he did the same thing Nonsense is kind of doing, where instead of actually having criticisms and being able to talk about it, it's some kind of charged, angry, weird fight. You know? I don't know. Again, baffles my mind, but my criticism against me, the popular criticism against me, is that I talked too long about my vet bashers. Look at LB. I've responded to everything she said about me. Blubbermouth, that's her husband, responded to everything he said about me. There's even some fuckwits on Twitter who are ex-mods of mine that like to create sock accounts and run around vet bashing me everywhere I go, regardless of the fact that they called the VA and tried to lay that trap for me, and it blew up in their fucking face, right? Not in jail. The DAV said that y'all are the fucking stalking weirdos and I need to sue you, the ones doing it. So anyway, if I'm Navy, please help me. If in every fucking situation where a creator has vet bashed me, I still made sure to check their criticism and respond to it, how in the Samuel fucking stuff am I using it as some kind of shield or something? What are you talking about? Hello, honey. I'm on the stream, okay?
So one thing I pointed out in my video was that if you go back and look at every time that you have said this person is vet bashing me, if you go back and find out where it started, it was you criticize somebody else and they come back and all of a sudden it's about your vet status because vets don't act like this or whatever stupid reason to start it, right?
Oh, wait, say that again, Navy. I'm sorry, my daughter was... Go ahead, say that one more time. I lost part of it.
In my video, one of the things I explained to Nonsense was that every time this has happened, it wasn't they criticized you and you said, oh, you're criticizing me so you vet bash me. It's because
that's insane. This is known.
You criticize them and they all of a sudden they come back questioning your military record or questioning
your vet status. This is known. This is known. This is literally history. You can go and watch it unfold, for fuck's sake. This is history. Like, look at LB, right? We talked about the fraud raiser, which was how we got pulled into the story further. And LB was a part of it. And we mentioned her for about a month and 3 weeks, month and 2 weeks. You'd have to go back and watch. You'd have to go back and actually do, you know, the thing that everybody says they're good at or some shit, not put out misinformation. And there was engagement for month and 3 weeks, 2 months before she vet bashed me. So again, that is because she's done it before. So, I mean, this is, again, just lies. Why is Nonsense lying on me, Navy? Before we move on, I want to know. Even if we can't figure it out, that's what I have to know right now. What the fuck? Is this some kind of fucking, like, Uni's a guy, Uni's on the outside of our community, Uni has a show, right? Well, let's just fucking attack him and try to get subs from him before he rolls out. Is that what this is?
According to her, and the things that she's talking about, it's you put out misinformation, and the other people that go after do the same thing. So she has to call you out.
Okay. What are her examples of me putting out misinformation? Because again, I literally have an open door policy with the entire community. Let's use Boston Nick as an example. I did a thumbnail about Betty and the court thing, right? And if you look at my thumbnails before that thumbnail, you'll notice that I like to take nouns and I like to take words that embody what they're doing and make it into a verb or use it to describe what they're doing. And my dumb ass, as I'm rushing to make the stream, I put Betty Betty, what is it? What was the word I used?
Caused mistrial.
Fucked up the court. Say it again.
Caused the mistrial.
Mistrial. Betty mistrials, right? And I was using it as my silly little meme, not realizing that most people were going to read it and see, oh, she caused a mistrial. And I'm saying, oh, she's out there mistrialing and causing mistrials and shit. And I wrote it in the most irresponsible way. Boston Nick came in and told me. I went and looked at it and was like, oh, fuck, and changed it immediately because I have an open door policy. Any misinformation, any wrong information, any issue that we put out, I do not do what others do, like Nonsense and others, where you just get up there and fucking attack people and keep saying it. That's what liars and people that are putting out misinformation do. And I'll give a great example. Back when I put out that, and with Nate the lawyer also, and other creators, but I believe I was the first that put out, Nate came in and did a more detailed breakdown. I put out that she faked an email from YouTube. Okay, let's use this as an example. Okay, after I put that out, LB made the claim that it wasn't true. Now the problem with her was she didn't actually go to the email and address the glaring pieces of evidence that proved that it was fake and that someone had faked it and that the only person that could have faked it was her. And she didn't even explain how she herself could have put it out if someone else had faked it and given it to her or sent it to her. But I listened to every word that came out of her mouth, and I took her claim and I tried to compare it to reality. And I am using that example on purpose because I know that that's going to come up in a second too. But how fucking, I just have to say this too, how fucking ironic. It makes me think this is a game. This cannot be real, Navy. The woman is putting out literally like simple, like we're talking pieces of misinformation that tens of thousands of people know about because of how big it was when this was happening.
Yeah.
That are in this community supporting myself and Nonsense and others, okay? And
sorry.
Yeah.
So she was doing a stream after Navy's video, and she was like playing, I don't know, old clips of you, and basically how you change your opinion on things as if you kind of flip-flop. It didn't make any sense. So
it would make sense if you just clipped, like, you know, the first part of some issue or investigation, and then let's use Molly as an example. If you just went to the beginning where I'm sitting there talking about how I think Molly's funny, and I think that I said a lot of nice things about Molly for the first few weeks, till I started to realize how prolifically fucked she was, right? talked about how Molly, if she would just stop doing this, could be this really funny entertainer. You could then clip later where I have completely changed my fucking mind out. And if you put two deceptive clips together, sure. I'll give another example. You could go back to when I thought LB wasn't a doxing, vet bashing faker, a liar, didn't think she made fake clips and fake pictures that tried to go around framing people for shit. And I defended her. So you could clip me giving a good opinion, telling everybody to, leave LB alone. Everything's cool. Give her a chance. And you could clip me months later after she was exposed with recordings, literally admitting she faked pictures and screenshots all the time to try to fuck with people when she got pissed and shit. And yes, this is all on the internet and it's simple to find. So yeah, I mean, it depends on the context of what she's showing, but nonsense. How does someone who talks themselves up, like that's her entire draw to her audience, right? I know there's a lot of people, small channels talking about this Molly thing and talking about what's going on. And there's a few bigger channels and then there's a few bigger channels. But my channel, Nonsense, we get to the bottom of things. We don't fuck around. We fuckery. So that's why I'm inviting her on the show. And she can bring every clip she has. She can bring every issue she has straight in front of my audience. And I don't know how the Nonsense who has presented herself in front of us would ever have an issue with it. That's what needs to happen. Right? What was the video she played? I'd love to know do you know what the topic of it was or what we were talking about?
I don't know. Something about I think something about Steve McRae was mentioned, and
Oh
she
my
said,
God.
and she
You've
said,
got to be kidding me.
no, Green Frog. You were watching it as well. I might be wrong, but at one point she was like, and I agree with Steve on something. So my theory is, right, I know you don't care about this stuff, but you obviously covered this, and you have more subscribers than Nonsense, don't you?
Yeah.
So I think that obviously this is all died down. Like Molly's away, you're still like getting views and stuff like that, and she
Just like
is
I was before this, by the way. Same
exactly.
level. Same level.
Exactly, and I think now it's like she's turning on you for views, if that makes sense.
I
Like,
would hope that's not. I'm in denial is what it is, Julie. I'm in
yeah,
denial.
that's my theory, and I think she's going to end up in like a truce with AKC, LB, and stuff like that. I just think that
Okay.
it's just
Okay, so
that's
here's
my
the deal.
opinion.
If that happens, if she was to listen to EKC and LB or, God forbid, Steve McRae, which is only being brought up because, of course, you brought that up. And I would think if there was some kind of Periscope, old Periscope, my walking streams and shit, most of those walking streams that summer was about the unfolding story of Non Sequitur, which is not about Steve McRae. He is part of it, but it's about a YouTube channel and the two owners of the channel, where Katie Joy, who had 2,000 subs, myself, I might have had like 45,000 subs, Kyle, 20-some thousand subs, Steve, 2,000 subs, all got pulled into this ridiculous story. So anyone that wants to play any kind of like bullshit there is just fucking themselves. You have to watch the videos. I mean, from both sides, so that you can see what happened. Because that isn't I put out this video, right? And then the next day I put out a video and completely flip-flopped. And then the next day I put out a video and I flip-flopped. What in the world? There's only one person I know who ever uses the word flip-flop and brings up flip-flopping. That is Steve McRae. God forbid. How is it that Nonsense claimed to us? So let's ask Nonsense about some of her lies. Why is it that Nonsense played the Discord game and the Reds Rhetoric Discord game, where she proves that she knows how to use Discord. She uses it a lot. She keeps telling people that she doesn't use it that much or doesn't know how to use it and acts like she's barely in there when she's in there a lot, right? Like, because honestly, she acts like that the servers that she's been frequenting for the last little few months, where she has no fucking care about what the people who she is interacting with have done. Like, does she not understand that EKC or LB or, of God forbid, Steve McRae, does she not understand that they are mollies? Just that they had smaller channels? Like, she doesn't get that? Like, would she trust Molly to bring her evidence, facts, whatever? And you know what's fucked too is that these little, if you're right, Julie, these little fucking weirdos have been sitting in the background attacking nonsense non-fucking stop, and myself. And they just hate nonsense. But that would explain some shit to me, actually. This is starting to piece together in my head here a bit. But you know what? Why can't nonsense just be honest about it? Why can't nonsense just come out, tell us who she's talking to, tell us that's what I do. Everybody expects that from any of us. Why not come out and say, hey, I went into this Discord server. Here's the name of it. These 3 people brought me these videos. Here's what the videos say. Why can't we sit down like the people we are and the people we've been for this entire time and have a normal adult conversation? Because I've been here waiting. She, for whatever reason, decides just, she could have, why in the world even fucking take it to her channel when it's a question to her, when she's obviously not presenting anything concrete? She's kind of just like flippity flopping in there, to use their words. Why not come to me? Why not say, hey, what are these videos? What happened here? Let me point her to the original videos. Let me show her, because they're all there, guys. Everything's there. Whatever she has clips from, it is on that network and exists. Unless that network went down, I think Mixer might have went down. So my Mixer stuff isn't there, but I played a Mech Warrior 5 on Mixer. There was nothing exciting. We went to D Live. Mixer really fell apart. Anyway. Okay, Navy. We didn't get to all of this stuff, but let's keep moving here. Let's keep this moving so we can figure out what we're going to do. What's the next one? What's the next major issue?
Okay, let me think. Next major. So I don't know where she's getting this from. I guess we know now where she's kind of getting some stuff from. But
no, we don't know yet. But I mean, we're just assuming. But
right.
Go ahead. I'm sure she won't lie. I'm sure she'll tell the truth.
Misinformation. It was she had so part of the whole thing of you having this history of behavior or whatever was the dropping of the PayPal links, which once again I pointed out that she doesn't understand that we were making money, right?
Okay, listen. History of behavior, dropping PayPal links. Nothing has changed about the way I drop PayPal links and the way I share my links at all. But I'm sorry, you can't fucking take super chats and memberships and then complain about me dropping these links and doing what I do. Unless you want to make an argument that I do it too much, which people have made years ago. That's why we started to put it on a timer, okay? So I don't know. I don't know how that even makes any fucking sense. This has all been handled in the past. And guess who brought this? Guess who whines about this? It's crazy because she's giving a play-by-play from LB and Steve McRae. And the thing is, Steve McRae isn't going to go talk to her. He's going to send fucking Elmo face.
Yep. So one of the other things,
God forbid she's talking to Elmo, because why wouldn't Elmo have to answer to, before you're going to get a lot of bullshit information from someone who literally has a channel full of videos lying about you, if it is Elmo, God forbid, wouldn't this person have to account to nonsense for all the lies they told? So let's cross our fingers that it's not Elmo. But then again, this is Elmo's playbook against me. Nonsense is literally dropping I'll add a famous racist doxer's playbook too, because there was a famous racist doxer that I warned the anti-KJ community about because he was in my Discord for a few months and ended up, showing his true colors. I've already talked about this. Now, I bring this up because people have said that PJ was talking to Nonsense, or she might have got info from PJ. PJ was dating this person for like 6 months or some shit, right? God, I'm so fucking glad we didn't give her a chance when did she reach out, Navy? A couple months ago.
Yeah, I think it was. I think what happened. I think it was she was one of the ones that did a reaction and a slight criticism to your interaction with Molly. I think that's how we found her.
Who?
That's how I found her. When you went on Molly's channel, because it was like her and down
Wait,
the rabbit
who are
hole.
you talking about?
You talking about Nonsense, right?
No, I was talking about PJ.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
I think
PJ
PJ reached out to me and then I reached out to Navy. Is that right?
Yeah. And then PJ reached out to me directly because it had to do with some kind of conspiracy stuff. So
So PJ, when she sent that to you, we didn't talk to her because, and I would, if I find out that PJ is the dingbat feeding Nonsense this shit, I'm gonna do an entire video on that crazy shit she sent us, dude. What was it, like the new fucking world order and the fucking demons and demon rats and shit are controlling Molly's brain, making her dox people and shit?
It had to do with the cases that they were covering, like the things to do with the minors that were disappearing and bad things were happening to them. That it was all connected together, and she
Trafficking rings,
yeah,
Pizzagate, conspiracies, and yeah. It's you start to realize that when people have a certain kind of sick mind, and when I mean their mind is sick, their mind has some kind of sickness that they haven't treated, they're very prone to certain repeating thought patterns and like patterns that you see in things, right? And it becomes you stretching these patterns to everything in front of you, and you attaching fears that you have ingrained inside you to those things. I'm not going to go all fucking explanatory on it, but she is sick in the head. She needs help. I mean, I don't think she would say it, not admit that. So anyway, what was it? Is there any other major points? Not, because remember, we're trying to basically give my first response, my first public response due to me waiting until you put out your video over this garbage. So is there any other major point in the first kind of like complaint session, lie session?
Can I ask a quick question?
Please.
How do you know that PJ was dating or is dating Dolly? Did she say to Navy?
Oh yeah. She didn't.
Okay, I'll put it out there. She didn't come out directly and say it, but the thing was, we had heard rumbles that she had done this, and then when she came to talk to me, she talks about how
I wasn't talking about Dolly though. When I said the racist doctor, I wasn't talking about Dolly.
Oh no, I know that. Yeah.
Okay.
I know who you meant. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
Thing was that she came to me and started bringing up all this true crime stuff and was talking about how she was dating a guy who had a bigger channel in the true crime stuff, and he knows what he's talking about. And we already know she's dating Dolly.
Yeah. We already know that. There's pictures of them together and shit, like public ones. I swear to God, I'm not crazy.
She got me to make emojis for him. I'm disgusted.
Oh no. Well, tell me about that later. Okay, Navy. Spackle, I gave you an invite. You don't have to talk. I just gave you an invite. Nerd, if you want one, just raise your hand. I'd love to get anyone's opinion on this.
Spackle
who here?
More about Spackle should take it because she'll know more about what
Yeah.
Nonsense was saying in the recent whatchamacallit.
Sure. But hold on though, real quick.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Hold on, let me get this out real quick. Okay, who do we have that would be a envoy to Nonsense's little crowd? Who can get in touch with nonsense? And what I mean by that, who is it that already can do it, like that she's comfortable with, so that we can schedule nonsense on the show with all of her evidence, with everything she has.
Besides Navy.
I don't think she'll talk to Navy now, because listen to this shit. I want to get everyone's opinion before Julie jumps, or before anyone jumps. And then I'll let you get your initial thoughts in, Spackle. I'm sorry. But how fucking dare her lie to everyone in the community and pretend that she has some kind of respect, kinship, friendship, whatever for Navy, and then show us all how little she thinks of him by literally ignoring his video, his point, his words, his side. Okay, hold on. Hey, my daughter's asking me a question. I got to take like a minute break. Okay. Navy and Spackle, if you want to give your initial thoughts, whatever, go ahead.
Okay, I want to say something real quick. So it's interesting. I was just watching the playback video that she was doing, and she was kind of covering old Uni, and she's like, look, see, Uni and Steve were friends. And I would say, from my perspective, and I was an outsider, I never thought of them as friends. I knew Steve pretty well, and I was a detractor to Steve back then. And Steve befriends people and goes, look at this story, and look at how all these people, look what Katie did to me, and look what these trolls did to me, look what this did, and everybody's a troll that doesn't agree with me. And he does this thing, and he goes creator to creator until that creator wises up. And this is a pattern with Steve. He'll link up with the creator wises up, and it changes. So he did it with Uni. So one of the things she's playing is she's going, see, this is what Uni thought about Katie, and see, he was friends with Steve. Let me tell you something. It's really easy to armchair these things after like 4 years.
Spackle, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I got told to tell you to check your DMs right now.
It's really
okay.
It's really easy to armchair things and then realize that, hey.
Well, yeah. I mean, is someone really going to come in and say...
I'm not good at doing this and DMing.
You're fine. You could... Is it really important or something, the DM, maybe?
Yeah, it's important. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
I
Let me just say this.
Thought, but I really wanted to say it real quick.
We'll get you back. Go ahead.
Okay, I never got to it. My train of thought is, I have been on the other side of Steve. I understand what it's like to be on the other side of Steve. I have been on the other side of Uni. I understand what it's like to be on the other side of Uni and not like Uni at the time. I understand how that's like. And to say what she's saying, I think is actually unfair, because Uni changes his mind with more facts. He really does. And you can complain about how long he takes. You can complain like that he meanders through, that he has to talk to everybody. And
yes, I do.
And you can complain all you want, but when it comes down to it, he is willing to change his mind when more information comes through. If that is a problem, I don't understand why.
Take a hike if that's the problem, because I did not know that LB was a disgusting, doxing piece of shit when I defended her. I did not know that Steve McRae was a doxing piece of shit that hates women and that literally watches fucking porn while discussing some of the most like hurtful things that women go through and gets off on it. Okay, I didn't know these things about these people. Okay.
Yeah. One more thing though. I'm just noticing that I might be crazy, but I'm noticing certain things. She uses the phrase mission quite often. She says patterns of problematic people, and she says narrative a lot. And I'm just
where does that come from?
That sounds so familiar that I'm starting to hone in on a zone where this might be coming from.
Everybody, Spackle, you're the 430th person that said this at this point. Go ahead, Julie.
Snap. That's all I'll say. That's what it reminds me of. Snap. Do you know?
Interesting.
Well, while there's a little bit of a break, I'm going to advertise my PayPal at paypal.me/Unirock. Oh, hold on. I might have got something. Oh, excellent. Thank you, whoever that was. But it's still there for anyone that wants to donate. By the way, I'm not ashamed. I've gone through, I don't even know how many hours of debate with people, hearing everyone's opinions on whether it's right or wrong, how it's right, when it's wrong, and sharing and monetizing someone's content or show. And we've already determined this years ago. I know Nonsense is a new person on the YouTube playground. And I'm fine if Nonsense has this kind of, oh my God, if you monetize this, then that makes you the worst person ever to, like, if no matter what the condition is, right? She's allowed to hold that opinion, but don't just come at me. I am not even I'm not even in the top fucking 50% of people, how they monetize, how they do things across the platform. I'm not even in the top 80 or 90%, okay? Like, it's incredible to me that if it's not some kind of jealousy, which I don't know why you'd be jealous. I don't make that much money. I really fucking don't. Nonsense should know this by now, right? At some point, Nonsense definitely made as much money as I did on YouTube, because she was monetized in that big blow up that happened around the time, right before. It was like 2 months before Molly was banned. There was a big ass blow up. And of course, what do you think I always sit there and go and repeat myself on things in my content? Now, when you go, if any of you ever go back and watch the lead up of me from the Letitia Fraud Raiser to now, you're going to see me predicting this right here. And you're going to see me laying in YouTube arguments, because I know these types of fucking petty dramas are coming the minute that the big lolcow gets banned. I know it. I feel it. I can sense it. It is a literal repeating pattern. And I don't know if that's because the people that follow us around, you know, go and really push against whoever they consider the most vulnerable, weakest commentator when the big lolcow goes down or when the story is starting to wind down. That's my last piece of the puzzle. Is this a psychological thing?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it human behavior, or is it because these people do this?
So we're watching another community right now in live time, and I'm watching this other community, and they lost their lols cow. Their lols cow's been kicked off of YouTube for the 1900th time, and they're literally eating each other alive. And I'm watching it, and I'm just not saying a word. And it's in another community, and you're absolutely onto something. When a lols cow goes down, or somebody that you're detracting those down, and if that is your sole content, I'm sorry, but it seems like people are getting a little salty, a little bit mad about it, and they're going to place blame and chew on each other.
See, to be honest,
So,
Julie,
Julie, I'm sorry. I mean to interrupt really fast. No, you're good. You're good, darling. So I just got told in the general that Nonsense has announced that she is purging all of Uni's mods and subscribers from her channel, and she is very happy about it.
Okay, well, I know somebody else that used to respond that way. That was Steve McRae, who's a punk ass motherfucker. He's another one that purged everybody.
Is it called? Really? Oh my goodness, girl. Hold on, y'all. I might have to jump for a second.
Well, what
That feels really good
that
out.
started saying purge from the beginning, though. This is nothing new. Like the first month video, we gave a lot of grace. I actually felt like I was going a little bit to bat with her, a little bit going, I kind of get why you don't want to talk about this thing. Can we not talk about it anymore? You know, and like it all kind of made a little bit of sense to me. The second thing makes zero sense to me. And she's the one that started things like the purge, like
Okay.
and I like only some of the mods. Some of the mods are good people, and like, are you suggesting the rest are trash? Like, I mean, it is just so weird.
Yeah. Okay. Navy.
Yes.
When do you have to go?
In about 2 or 3 minutes.
Oh fuck. Okay, nerd. You got to get it out, bro. We're gonna do another one, but we're gonna have to stop for a minute. So, what do you got, buddy?
All I gotta say is apparently she has executed Order 66.
What does that mean?
Against the Uni fam.
Oh no, not the innocent Jedi kids.
Wait a minute. I offered her to come on my show and discuss all of this
you didn't
like
hear it.
normal people.
You must have not heard what I said. Apparently, she has announced, because I got this in general, She has announced that she is booting all uni mods and let me double check and read it. Nonsense has
What?
announced that she is purging all of Uni's mods and
Oh, I
subscribers from her
see.
channel, and she's
I
very happy
see
about it.
nonsense. I see. You get invited to come handle this shit and actually present your evidence, and you run fucking you run and hide. You run and hide. And let me guess, nonsense. Let me guess. I'm coming. It's 1 minute. You have to give me a second, honey.
That's what she said.
Sorry, my daughter we have to leave at 9 and she wants me to leave a minute early. What was I just saying? Oh, so instead of coming here and now here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna turn into someone that sits and do what you did to Molly, but you're gonna do it to me. And you know what you're gonna do, nonsense? You're gonna make Molly right, if you haven't already. You're gonna make Molly right. Everyone watching, I'm coming right after I say this, hon. Everybody that's watching this, hear me out now, whether you hate me or whether you don't. Okay? Whether you hate me or whether you don't. I know this sucks. I know it does. This is exactly what happens. Everyone says, remember when Queen Bee, uni people say you stab people in the back and stuff, bro. Like, they're warning me about you, and Queen Bee laughed. You know why Queen Bee laughed? They don't have anything other than this bullshit shit that nonsense is throwing. So why? Why is a person that claims that they're all about facts and evidence now running for the hills when they've been given a green light to destroy me in front of my audience? And literally talk it out like adults, have no conflict, and just have fun and a nice long stream where we can address everything. Why is that? And it's because, if you rewind, in my on Rock a Lot, you'll hear me tell you. It is because when this all happens, you start to see everybody's true colors. Okay? Nonsense. I was going to be nice. And I was going to save all of the evidence that I have on you from Facebook until you showed up on my show. If you don't accept the invitation tonight and you're going to keep playing this run and hide game, I'm not going to keep your evidence respectfully hidden like I have been.